So um, it start off by having like these 2 points, and I think the rest of the value is just can kind of ignore based on my opinion. And what's going to actually happen is that we throw these two items basically into maybe say a box, and this box does whatever it does. It just get the um, minimum value, and in this case it's called a minimum heat. So you throw um, everything into it, and notice that you only just take like whatever you care about is just basically the first few values. And so we're just comparing 8 and 10, and when we throw these two values in, we then we will try to actually pop we'll pop like the lower value, and after we pop, we send it into maybe say another box, and it's called like the result box. And in the result box, whatever we care about, it's these two items over here. It's not this one, but the last two. So in this case, between 8 and 10, obviously I take the 8. So I basically pop it out, transfer it to like the result box, and what it's gonna be having, it's basically this -2 and 2, and there you have it. That's for the answer. And for this LeetCode rulebook per se is that the rulebook is saying that I want k to be 1, so therefore you only pop it off like one value. And so whatever you're sending back to the system is this -2, 2. And how they actually derive this 10 value over here is because like they do this operation z, where operation z is very much of like a formula to calculate distance. So what you gotta do is basically the formula goes like this. Basically how you found distance is basically you sort of like square root 1 square plus 3 square. But at the end of the day, whatever you want to find is just an arbitrary like a math number. So whatever you do, you can just simply just do, because you're doing a comparison, so you can just simply do this, because at the end of the day everyone is going to do the root, right? So 1 square plus 3 square, you get 10, and that's how you actually derive that based on like the formula. So you operation z for this, operation z for this, so you get the following. For this item you're gonna get the 8, for these items you're gonna get a 10. And why you need to actually calculate distance, it draws back to the rulebook of the question. The rulebook of the question was like asking that which point will be closer towards like the center, and whatever you doing the operation z is basically to actually calculate this distance versus this distance, and eventually you get like these two items and you kind of like compare it over here. So this is why you actually do the operation z, is to mainly to actually find distance. Whatever we've been doing so far, it's very much to do with we're very much using the properties, or rather the spell of say mean heat. That's whatever we're doing so far. And um, obviously like the rulebook is very much questioning on I want like the lowest distance among the folks, and straight away you can actually say that like the efficient way for me to actually find the lowest value is usually I can use min heap, where I do find cast a spell of like finding the min heap of the item to get the lowest value in the most efficient manner, which is in this case. um, and yeah, and they also like actually did argue like a brute force way to actually argue against like this character, this main character, the min heap guy, which is that I mean they could have like sent these two data maybe say to another box instead of like min heap, maybe say just like a normal array, I'll call it. So if say they throw in like these two values and they want to actually compare, I mean the overall time it will be big O of like n log n, um, because you are sort of like sorting the item in terms of like which item is like the smaller piece. And for this item I don't know the big O is like of how much, maybe it's much more efficient. So this operation X and this is operation W, maybe operation X is much more efficient than operation W, where it doesn't cost as expensive as n log n. That's what I believe. That's why we use this min heap, and that's how I actually fight against the brute force for this case. Obviously we have the spells over here and the rulebook base over here. And yep, with that everything comes to an end.